But yet the tree has to remind everyone that Jenny loves Tommy or Billy loves Veronica. Just keep it to yourself.
I was making good time as the trail continued eating up mileage while not being difficult from a cardiovascular standpoint, and then I started climbing. And the climbing was the real deal. Now this is why it's called the steeper trail.
Oh yeah, nice and steep. The final push to the summit. I grab onto some roots here as I climb up. Drop my trekking pole. Just let it dangle as I climb up. Feels very High Peaks like this climb here, and the terrain, what it looks like with the trees, roots, very exposed, very rugged stretch of trail, some moss on the ground and on the rocks, blow down, and the climbing continues up some big slabs. Great, let's do it.
The final 0.3 miles to the summit gains a little over 200 feet of elevation in a steep, High Peaks caliber stretch of trail. This part of the trail involves a lot of climbing up slabs by the roots on the side, really using your legs and quads as the climb keeps going up, up, and up, stepping up boulders and steep slabs. If you hike the High Peaks, this final push will remind you of any High Peaks climb, as the trees and brush become thicker and thicker the higher you go up. This made for fun hiking, and it didn't feel like a small peak for a while. A lot of steep slabs with large tree roots engulfing the slabs in all directions, like an octopus pulling a ship to the ocean. There was even one area that had some sort of railing created. It was as if they took down some small trees, screwed them in horizontally to other larger trees, making a railing of sorts around this one turn. It was interesting, and you'll know it when you see it. Then I made it up the last of many little slab climbs and scrambles to another very large open rocky summit at 12:55 p.m., totaling just under 1 hour to the summit. Black Bear Mountain, standing 2,454 feet elevation for Fulton Chain Trifecta number 2 of 3. Pure ADK is an online community and lifestyle brand that creates Adirondack-inspired apparel and goods. They're all about sharing their adventures and creating quality products that are a reflection of the outdoor lifestyle and activities we love in the Adirondack Mountains. Whether born and raised an Adirondack native or a frequent vacationer, we all have a common bond, those feelings and memories that the Adirondacks evoke in us. As a bonus for listeners of the podcast, they're providing a 15% off discount. When shopping in their online store, use the promo code 46podcast to redeem the offer. PureAdirondacks.com. Check it out. 46podcast. Pure ADK. Exploration Unbound. Another very large summit with awesome views of the Fulton Chain Lakes and even some high peaks deep in the distance. A great place to hang out for a while if you can and take it all in. It was also really nice this time having a pack full of delicious, freshly pumped river water to quench my thirst. I definitely could have gone for a snack though. That would have been cool. It was 1 p.m., 2.5 hours until work. The clock was ticking and time was of the essence, so I only stayed a few minutes up top before following the trail markers over the summit to the other side, where I plan to carry out the loop trail as opposed to out and backing the short trail.
All right, it's 1 o'clock. About to head down the yellow trail now to make it a nice loop. Great summit though here on Black Bear Mountain. But it's time to get back down the peak as the trail goes across the summit. Nice views up here. Lots of small mountains in the distance, but the lakes are what make this mountain in this area so nice.
This was a good choice because the trail goes up and over the summit, staying above the trees on the summit slab for a good portion of time, making way for views for a long time before going back into the woods. Once the trail heads back into the trees, however, it's a narrow trail, gradually descending through some thick portions of forest in a nice and constant manner. The trail had some sections of mossy slabs and dirt trails with lots of tree roots, but no steep sections here, hence being the gradual trail. But some very narrow stretches, I will say. Then, before I knew it, I was off the mountain, coming to a trail sign pointing me left back to the trailhead, 2.3 miles away. Now for the long, flat, wavy, and crunchy walk to the car. Just a nice, flat trail through the woods. About a mile down the trail, I came to the group that I passed in the parking lot earlier, the 2 guys and a girl. Then as I approached the 3, just as I got to them, the girl immediately turned 180 degrees and started walking back the other way, down the trail where she just came from and where I was headed. The 2 guys, however, did not follow. It was very strange. She just kept walking, as I was maybe 10 feet behind her, passing the 2 guys, and now just her in front of me and me walking behind. I'm kind of sitting there wondering, is she leaving or something? Did they just have like a weird fight and she's going back to the car? The guys didn't say anything and they kept walking, and then about 60 seconds later, though it felt like an hour, she randomly stopped, grabbed a large walking stick leaning against a tree, turned around and started back towards her group, passing me immediately as I continued on the trail. So I guess she was just after a walking stick. It was all very strange, very strange. I continued crunching my way through the leaves, in the woods, and soon landed back at the trail split. The loop was complete. Now for the 0.7-mile walk back to the trailhead that felt like it took forever. But eventually I heard the sounds of Route 28 in the distance and I knew I was close. Then I walked out of the woods back to the parking lot at 1:50 p.m., an hour and a half until work. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Time to quickly get in the car and head back down Route 28 towards my hotel in Old Forge to stop at Bald Mountain to finish the Fulton Chain Trifecta. My desire was to be back at the hotel by 3 p.m., shower, then get on the 3:30 p.m. crew van to be at work for 4 p.m., with the 3:45 crew shuttle just in case buying me a little more time if I need it. So, knowing this mountain was only a mile up and a mile down, I knew I would be cutting it close, but I said, screw it, we're doing it. I'll just move fast. I'm here. So I drove down the road a few miles, banged a right into the trailhead parking lot, and signed in at 2:05. I had an hour to summit and get back to the trailhead. 2 miles in about an hour? Piece of cake. The trail up Bald Mountain starts with a short walk on leaf-covered dirt trail before coming to the slab sidewalk that is 90% of the trail. Literally. This one slab sidewalk goes all the way to the summit. It's amazing, and therefore it's very fast. The trail is gradual and constant without being very steep. It's a very fun trail top to bottom. As I continued up this sidewalk into the Adirondack sky, I was constantly checking to see what time it was. And I was making great time as I scrambled my way up this mountain.
Well, similar to Rocky Mountain, if you can't tell by my heavy breathing, it just starts going up. Climbing up the slabs, some steeper dirt trail, mostly slabs. But yeah, right off the bat, climbing up, which is great. I want this to go straight to the top.
The trail quickly comes out on the ridge with great views to your left while continuing to climb. I checked the time again, still on schedule and moving well. I needed to summit before 2:30 to have the same amount of time to get off the mountain, back in the car, and drive back to the hotel, shower, and then hop in the crew van. So I continued hiking up the rock slab with nice views to my left and the woods to my right.
Quickly into the trail, there's a couple lookouts right off the side. Great views as the climb continues up these big boulders and slabs that have trees growing all over them, or the roots kind of hug the rock. Will I make it to work on time? That is the question.
And then I came around a corner and saw the Bald Mountain Fire Tower about 75 yards ahead. I made it. 2:25 p.m., right on schedule. Bald Mountain, 2,350 feet elevation for Fulton Chain Trifecta number 3 of 3. Challenge complete. The 500 feet elevation gain, mile-long hike on this peak took just under 25 minutes. More fantastic views of the Fulton Chain Lakes below, along with an awesome fire tower, making a perfect way to end this challenge. I loved it. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay long, just 5 minutes, so I walked up the fire tower, took some photos, and quickly started back down the trail to get to work.
Up the fire tower we go. And And then we're at the top as I try to sneak in. And I snuck in. There we go. Here at the top of the fire tower with a cool map up here. That's cool. And of course people had to write on the walls, which is unfortunate. Huge views here on this fire tower. The lakes below. And that is the Fulton Chain Trifecta. Complete. Of course I still have to go down.
It was 2:30, 1 hour until the crew van leaves the hotel. I made amazing time down this slab sidewalk trail because it was like running down a street. I passed a few couples going up, all of them with dogs, and I got back to the trailhead at 2:50 p.m. Only 20 minutes to get down. 10 minutes ahead of schedule to officially complete the Fulton Chain Trifecta. A great group of small mountains here in the Western Adirondacks, each with excellent views and unique hiking experiences. I highly recommend these mountains and this challenge whether you're brand new to hiking or a seasoned hiker. But now I had to get back to the hotel, shower, get in the crew van, and go to work. And I made it down to the hotel lobby at 3:28 p.m. while the van sat out front. And it turns out I was the first crew member in the van. After all that rushing, I was still early and still the first person there. I literally ran down a mountain to get in the van, whereas everyone else just had to walk out of their hotel room. But you know, like I always say, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're fired. But now it was time to go to work after spending a fantastic morning and afternoon in the woods, something I've never before and probably never will get to experience again on a workday. It was amazing. Well, another successful day in the woods and another fun Adirondack hiking challenge in the books. The Fulton Chain Trifecta. Rocky Mountain, Black Bear Mountain, and Bald Mountain. An awesome challenge everyone should check out. Easily accomplished in a day or over multiple days, all with summits worth spending hours on. Thanks for coming along with me today on the 46 of 46 podcast. New mountains, new stories, and new episodes coming soon. Remember to always leave no trace, do the rock hop, and if you carry it in, carry it out. See you on the trail. Looking for a way to commemorate your Adirondack hiking experiences? The 46ers collection from 46ers.com is a great way to do exactly that. Their unique lapel pins for each of the 46 high peaks make great keepsakes or gifts. Check them out at 46ers.com. That's 46ers.com.